Hi guys, it's Han here. Today we are going to check out the 2024 the 4-seat top trim Genesis GV80. Thanks to friends' help. Welcome to subscribe my new English and Chinese car reviews channel. Thanks for subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, and lighting up the little bell. GV80 is the first SUV product of the Genesis family, which is also the starting point for the family's new generation of products. 2021 models launched. At the beginning of its launch, we had several videos about it. GV80 is derived from Hyundai and Kia's third-generation M front engine and rear-wheel drive platform. From the appearance size, if compared with BMW X5 3.0 model, we can see that GV80 is a little shorter than X5 in terms of wheelbase, slightly longer than X5 in overall length, slightly shorter than X5 in height. The minimum ground clearance of GV80 is 8.1 inches. In terms of powertrain at present, all GV80 series are gasoline products. The entry-level engine is a 2.5-liter turbocharged engine. High-end power is 3.5-liter V6 twin-turbocharged engine, both equipped with 8-speed automatic transmission. On the dynamic parameters, if compared to the BMW X5 3.0-liter model, we can see the data for the 3.5-liter engine is basically the same as the X5 straight 6, even if it's basically the same. M3 platform is the lightweight platform of the Hyundai family. This GV80, on the main components of the body including frame, includes hood door and tailgate, are all made of aluminum material. On the table of curb weight, I also put the four-wheel drive of the X5 3.0 model together for reference. The front and rear suspension are both multi-link designs, standard on 3.5 models, which optional on 2.5 models is an electronic controlled suspension with road preview. The 3.5 model also has an optional electronic limited slip differential. With trailer brakes, maximum towing capacity of all GV80 series products are 6,000 pounds. The fuel tank capacity of all series is 21.1 gallons. The combined fuel consumption of the 2.5-liter is 22 mpg, according to EPA. 305L is 20 mpg. The first GV80 model was launched in 2021 model. These few years, they updated some items every time in each model year. The upgrades on the 2024 model include standard folding third-row seats on 3.5 advanced trim. The third-row seat on top models was cancelled, added Wi-Fi hotspot function. There are certain changes in the color matching of the exterior and interior. When it first came out on 21 model, it has both a rear-wheel drive and four-wheel drive version. On the 2024 model, currently we can see all rear-wheel drive models have been cancelled. All are four-wheel drive versions. On the top model, several higher-end versions have also been derived. Especially in terms of the MSRP, it has a sharp rise. It seems like when see the dealer making money fast, manufacturers feel that making money slowly themselves. The one we checked out today is a test loan I've drove these days. The 2024 GV80 3.5T top-of-the-line 4-seat version. Equipped with electronic controlled suspension, 265/40R22 wheels, Napa leather seats, 45-inch central screen, 12.3-inch LCD instrument, 21-speaker Lexicon audio. Above are basically basic configurations. There are no many options on it. MSRP including shipping is $82,695. The engine, transmission, and the final assembly are all from Korean plants. According to the tradition of US market before the supply shortage, the second year's model will be released in the second half of the first year. The market is quite chaotic these few years. Facelift on model year is also a bit messy. This Genesis GV80, while 2024 model has just been launched not long ago. 2025 models has just released though. We can see that the biggest changes on the 2025 model is a GV80 Coupe. Fastback SUV version was launched, of course, which is also more European. GV80 was since the 2021 model year to 2025 models. If we follow the replacement cycle of previous rules, it should be considered a midterm facelift. Regular version of GV80. Have some big updates on 2025 model, both in exterior and interior. Of course, the price will definitely change. Well, let's draw our attention back to this 2024 model. This is top model. It has a white matte paint finish. As for the paint, which kind do you like? Just a matter of opinion. The appearance of it we've talked about in several videos. Many design of iconic symbols of family. On front, side, and the rear part of the vehicle, all were first used on GV80. Viewed from the front, not much difference from Model 21i. Basically the same shape, relatively slender front cabin. Two lines are outlined from two wings of Genesis logo on the hood, which looks very powerful. The front cabin is opened up at this raised position. It has also become a characteristic of the 80 and 90 series. The light set with double light strips and the huge central grid. We've all seen a lot in the Genesis family. Quite a lot of decorative strips throughout the vehicle were made of chrome materials. But it's dark, not that very bright color. The side shape of this vehicle, personally I think it's quite pretty. We have also watched it many times. The front cabin is very slender, while the passenger cabin has a feeling of sitting back, which is also very Genesis. Even the style of Hyundai family, the sidelines of the vehicle look very full, not too complicated at the same time. A straight waistline from front to back to the end, a feeling of pressing down in end part. The rear tailgate here has also been given a fattening and enlarging effect, making it look very full. The decorative material on the side, we see that it has both dark chrome materials that are not very shinning and a lot of black decorative materials. All can meet your needs, whether you like black or chrome, even both. There is no very large angle fastback shape in the rear part, but the design is not straight edge or right angled, it has a compromised design. All four doors use electric suction doors. After opening up, you can see that the door opens at a moderate angle, not exaggeration, but large enough. The lower edge of the door covers the body. The front two windows of it are double glazed, while the two second row windows are single layer glass. Giving you my height as a reference when I get in and out. No need for any pedal device, no inelegant posture. There are wheels with diameter of 19 and 20 inches in GV80 family, also this top with 22 inches such as the vehicle we checked out today. Plus such an exaggerated style with gloss black wheels were used. Quite eye-catching seen from a distance. There is difference in the size of front brake disc between 2.5 and 3.5 model, standard on 3.5 model. Optional on the 2.5 model is a ventilated front disc with a diameter of 14.9 inches, also with 4-channel systems. All rear brake discs are the same, which are all ventilated with a diameter of 14.2 inches. The braking performance of this vehicle is so good. The entire rear is decorated with a combination of chrome and black panels both. Hyundai also knows that chrome is necessary on the vehicle which belonged to luxury brand. The high-mounted brake light is integrated in rear wing, which is very wide. This has the visual feel of a higher level vehicle. Quite cool. Rear wiper, which isn't hidden in the rear wing. Of course it would be nice to have rear wiper now. Below is the switch for the trunk. The rear camera is placed in this position. There is no design that protrudes from the bumper platform at the back. It seems that the Hyundai family designed the light group into the protruding position of the bumper, which was approved by the group boss, which has been persisting, never let up. Two straight exhausts on each side. Family key. The shape of the trunk opening appears to be relatively regular. The lower edge of the trunk is relatively high. The lining of the tailgate is made of hard plastic, not wrapped in soft material. GV80 currently has both 2 and 3 rows of seats versions, also has 4-seat and 5-seat versions in 2-row model. In my opinion, 2-row version is quite practical in this body size. As for whether to choose the 4-seater or 5-seater version, it all depends on personal preference. Adding a third row of seats to the vehicle of this size would not only be useless, but would also increase the weight. As you can see, this vehicle does not have a third row of seats. The depth of the trunk is very good. 12V 180V charger socket. Button for folding down the rear seats. There is a light on each side. The light is quite bright. There is a hook on each side. There are 4 hook points at the bottom. A retractable curtain below. Here is the starter battery. It has no spare tire. As you can see, this is a tire repair kit. Although the kit case was made more delicately, I think it's better to have a spare tire. Not all the trims have spare tire. Compact spare tire are only standard on some trims. No spare tires are equipped standard on some 2.5 model and 3.5 model with 3-row seat, in which model has large wheel. Spare tire is optional. Performance after the second row seats folded down. As the flagship product of the Hyundai family, it also has the function man-free parking in and out, lock the car, start it, and reversing. Stop and move forward. Stop. GV80 center console style has established Genesis family center console style of new generation products. We once again felt that the materials used in this top-end model of the Genesis G80 are awesome. It really creates that luxurious feeling. 4 windows with 1 button auto function. Some buttons on center console to the left of the steering wheel, very Hyundai. It has a heads-up display. The head-up display area is quite large, the display is so clear, which is also a latest common part of Hyundai family. The instrument used a naked eye 3D instrument panel that was relatively gimmicky at the time. But at present, this instrument panel does not seem to be retained in the high-end vehicles of the Hyundai group. Personally, I feel that this instrument panel looks much more wonderful than the latest LCD one now. Sure thing that the display method and content of the new LCD one are definitely richer than this. Adjust it through the keys on the right side of the steering wheel. Information is just fine. Upper middle of the dashboard is driver attention monitoring. The steering wheel can be said to be first class. So good, very comfortable to hold. The leather feels and the steering wheel itself are both very thick. The style on 3 and 9 o'clock are very natural. Steering wheel size very suitable for this car. Not very big, neither too small to be sporty. Excellent material are used on the steering wheel. This two-frame form, currently said, is no longer the latest part of the Genesis family. We have seen that in the exposure pictures of the interior of the 25 model, the steering wheel of the GV80 is no longer this style, but a brand new 3-spoke style. Although the buttons on the steering wheel have a unique shape, if you look closely, they are still a common design for the Hyundai family. Comes with paddle shifters. Lights have automatic on and off function and automatic high beam function. Front wiper has automatic rain sensing function. Auto dimming rear view mirror comes with 3 garage switches. Glasses case, both the inside and the outside, are exquisitely made. No panoramic mirror. When I saw the price of this vehicle, I just guessed Hyundai definitely gave it a roof of Alcantara. Cool, got it. The center screen, we watched it many times, stands rather abruptly and rushed straight to the rear, not tilted to the driver's side, but fortunately, it is designed to be farther away from the driver. In addition, the area is relatively large. It won't be too tiring to watch it while driving. Software is also the latest version of the Hyundai family, which is a touchscreen. You can also adjust it with the control below. Both the display clarity and response are so great. iPhone CarPlay and Android connection need cable plug-in. Comes standard with 21-speaker Lexicon audio system, which effect is wonderful. The official is also very humorous, afraid that we don't know the brand Lexicon. Behind Lexicon, put some words, Harman International. The vehicle also has a panoramic views, but it does not fulfill the screen when the panoramic view is displayed. Appearance 3D surround, reversing overlooking, reversing view, rear blind spots on both sides, front view, overlooking, front blind spots on both sides. When adjusting the seat, the screen will display the adjustment items in a very user-friendly way, which is very intuitive. But I found 24 model has removed the function of displaying when simply touching the upper adjustment switch. It still retains the AC control buttons, which is nice, but it doesn't have many physical buttons, basically touch buttons. 2 front seats. Each has 3 levels of seat heating and ventilation functions. After the cover is pushed in, there is a USB data interaction port on the left, a USB charging port, and a wireless charging pad here. We can see that the shape of this part of it has changed in the interior photos of the 25 models that have been released so far. The wood grain decorations embellished on parts of the door panels and center console, which feel great and have a very strong texture. This control was updated during the annual facelift. It was not like this when the 21 model came out. Below is the circular shift mechanism. Even though I've been driving it for a few days, sometimes I can't help but turn this button when changing gears. Driving modes, snow mode, eco model, comfort mode, sport mode, and custom mode. The cover of the center armrest box is divided into 2 parts and opens to the left and right. The volume inside is relatively large. The fleece lining feels very thick. There is a small partition above, not any port in it. There is a storage compartment on the below floor of the center console. A 12-volt charging socket is left on the right side, but I still don't recommend that you guys put anything here. Viewers of my channel should know my praise for this vehicle more than once. I have to praise it again this time. Indeed great. Even in the past 2 years, many brands have launched many new mid-size SUV products. GV80 is still outstanding in this class. On the projects we often compared before, you see now I adjust the seat to bottom position, no problem with the space performance, the space is great. The seats of this vehicle are quite comfortable. The seats of previous GV80s and other grades were already very comfortable. This time, the top-end GV80 has reached a new level of comfort. Look at the shape of seat from the outside. First of all, it looks very complicated. Secondly, both the seat cushion and the back of the chair are both very thick. Every part of the body can be well cared for and supported by seat. The filling material of the seat is not very soft, but has a moderately soft and hard feel. Sit on it, you can feel the strong Germany flavor. It's covered by Napa leather according to official. When we touch all the leather on this car, it all feels very thick. The driver's seat has a dazzling array of adjustment options. It can adjust everything you can think of. Clamping of the wings of the chair back and extension of the seat cushion length. Both can be power adjusted. Also has a massage function on drive seat. The lumbar support is four-way adjustable. The passenger's adjustment items are not as many as the main driver's. The passenger seat has no memory function. Every time I review a car like this which focuses on the back seat, the passenger always seems so humble. One thing I don't like about this car is that there is no way to lower the seat very low. Now that I have lowered the seat to the lowest position, you can see that it still holds my body a little high. Can't give me my favorite feeling of being stuck in it and driving? In the past, I always complained about the new generation of Hyundai family products. It combines the LCD instrument panel and the central screen into an integrated connected screen. When I adjust the seat to the position that suits me, when I look at the LCD instrument panel, the steering wheel always blocks a lot of my view, blocks a lot of data, and makes it difficult to see everything. But that doesn't happen in this car. The seat adjusted well. I have a full view of the instrument without any obstruction. In terms of materials, I think it is not only in the first echelon in this level, but it even surpasses some products with higher price points than it. The center console is all covered in leather, which is very comfortable to the touch. The bottom is also made of leather. The plastic below is not a very hard plastic. The outer layer feels very soft to the touch. The door panel is made of leather, and below it is a soft plastic feel, which is great. Only the lower strip on the side of the center console is made of hard plastic, which cannot be touched by your leg when driving. Where your legs can touch is all covered in leather, which has this diamond-shaped on, where your elbows and hands can touch. Barely the hard plastic. And sense of smell. It ran less than 3,000 miles when I picked it up. Logically speaking, a car with this mileage should smell like a new car, but this vehicle did not have it at all. There is only a faint smell of leather throughout the vehicle. One more is hearing. Now it's because the door is opened up. If it's closed, it feels very quiet inside when idling. Sitting inside, you can't see any metal parts in the door frames, which are all covered by plastic. The sound of the windows working is not loud. When windows are about to close, there is a deceleration and noise reduction design, but the final noise reduction is not that perfect. Generally speaking, this GV80 feels great in every dimension when you sit in the front row. Across the world, there may be many models of four-seater vehicles with an exaggerated two-seat second row. But in the US market, there really aren't many vehicles like this. Basically, if the vehicle with two large seats in second row, its price will be relatively high. So if we use the price standard of more than $100,000 to evaluate this second row, we can see the second row of the GV80, these two seats. The design is not that radical. Obviously, there are reservations. We don't need to compare with other brands, just compared with its own flagship product, G90. Its design is not as cool as G90. Having said that, if there is no cross-class comparison, only in the price range of $70,000 to $80,000, I think the second row is awesome. The second row also has a theater-style heightening effect. The line of sight in the second row is higher. You can see that there is no problem with the space in the second row. Both headroom and legroom are quite good. The second row seats are also very comfortable. The padding material of the seats feels similar to that of the front seats, slightly softer than the front seats. The seat supports the body so well, but it's not that soft couch feeling. Overall, the seats still feel very German style. The adjustment of the second row seats are not complicated. It's not even as complicated as the first row of driver's seats. Two buttons on the side of the front passenger seat to adjust it the front to back and the seat back angle. The right rear seat has one more linkage adjustment with the front seat than the left one. Achieved max comfort with one click. Here we go. The front passenger seat has been moved forward. Here is the most comfortable position. One button reset. Seat forward. Seat to the end. The configuration of the second row is okay, but if compared with the current vehicles with a price of more than $100,000, it should have some LCD screens. It's missing the fancy controls and display. The materials used are so good. As you can see, there still retains two very old-school vanity mirrors in the second row. There was a time when vanity mirrors were a must on cars of this level. But now S-Class itself no longer insists on this precedent set by itself. AC outlets and controls are placed behind the center armrest. Both second-row seats come with 3 levels of seat heating and ventilation. There are 2 USB charging ports below, a 115-volt 150-watt 3-phase power socket. There is a certain bulge in the central floor, but it is not too high. There is also a very large armrest box in the middle of the second row. There is a small drawer under the armrest box, which is covered with velvet inside, very high-end. A wireless charging pad. Armrest box opens up to left and right. Inside is a small storage box. The roof curtain opens to both sides from this beam as the center. Its 4 armrests are also made of plastic, which are leather-wrapped material on the G90. There is a power sunshade on side. Here is leather on top door panel. Leather, and the bottom is plastic that's not too hard. Even in the second row, there are no hard plastics within reach of legs, elbows, or hands. We see even the back of the front seats. The hay are not made of hard plastic, which feels very soft to the touch. It does not have the automatic closing system like G90, although it has power soft closing doors. When GV80 was first launched, we talked a lot about its driving experience. Here's Model 24. There is no difference in mechanical performance and parameter adjustment from previous annual models. We will briefly talk about it today. Although Hyundai officials have been promoting the sports attributes and genes of GV80 in the past few years since its launch, but in my opinion, it is also a relatively balanced luxury SUV product with a strong sense of comfort. The power is great. We have talked about this engine a lot before. The 3.5-liter displacement is not small, and with 2 turbochargers, no matter which speed range you're driving in, speed up can meet your expectations in daily life. Accelerate again at a high speed and at a constant speed. The turbo will immediately become high-pitched after a slight lag. The speed also increased. In fact, an SUV of this size is most suitable for driving comfortably. But if you want to make a ripple in your life, it will also give you a good power output. In normal or comfort mode, its power is very comfortable. Especially when driving at high speed, it has a luxurious feeling that makes you not feel how fast it is. The matching of the engine and transmission is very smooth. During normal acceleration and deceleration in comfort mode, even if you step on the accelerator deeply, it will not make you feel uncomfortable frustration. Suspension adjustment is still biased towards comfort adjustment, which is relatively comfortable. Although its electronic control system is not air suspension, the comfort isn't quite as exaggerated as the Range Rover's sense of driving a ship. It's also a very tight kind of comfort. The suspension is doing its best to filter out the bumps on the road, especially at high speeds, although the filtering is not as thorough as the air suspension. It will never cause uncomfortable vibrations to the occupants of the car. The body of this car is relatively heavy. When driving on a smooth and undulating road at high speed, the body of the car will not vibrate much in amplitude and frequency. However, the weight it has, which is different from the weight of EV, it has a luxurious and thick feeling that should be expected in this class. However, the weight of some smaller EVs is that the layer under the chassis is relatively heavy. The brakes on this car are also very good. Although this car is very heavy, there is no very direct feedback on the brake pedal when you press the brakes. The brake pedal is very tight. The point the brakes works is not deep when you're on the highway. And what's very advanced is that you can't feel the weight of this car when you apply the brakes. The brake feel is more German, surpassing the brake feel of some Japanese products in the same price range. Other aspects are all great, such as good sound insulation, and the steering strength of the steering wheel are both quite good for this price range. Let's just say that among the new luxury SUV products that have been released in recent years, the product strength of GV80 cannot be underestimated. In summary, this is the GV80 video of the top 4-seater version. Generally speaking, it maintains the consistent use of materials of the GV80 and is relatively practical, more luxurious design and more comfortable to drive. In the second row of seats, it has created a precedent for the Genesis family in the SUV field. If compared with the vehicles in the price range above $100,000, the GV80's second row seats may not be too radically designed, but it also highlights the relative cost-effectiveness of the GV80. From my personal point, I think the two-row version, the five-seater version of GV80 is relatively cost-effective, which is also what I personally recommend. The price of the one we check out today is a little bit high. GV80 has been on the market since 21 models and now sells more than 20,000 units in the US market a year. If compared with other brothers and sisters in the family, it's pretty good. But if compared with the medium-sized luxury SUVs with relatively large sales volume in the industry, GV80 sales less than expected. First of all, what is certain is it's so good from a product perspective. I still prefer this product. At the same price point, it uses better materials than German products. It feels more delicate and comfortable than its German competitors. But everyone knows that if auto product wants to sell well, it is not enough to have a good product alone. Without products, let's check out Genesis' current dealer system in the United States. It also has an independent system, but at present, most of what we see are sales and services shared with the Hyundai brand. The good service methods and policies designed by Genesis at the upper level are currently difficult to implement. If Genesis is only sold as a high-end product for Hyundai brand dealers, I think it will be relatively difficult to do well. Although Genesis has long declared that it will establish an independent sales and service system, the current results are not very satisfactory and the progress is slow. In fact, as long as the brand is willing to invest, it is not difficult to do a good job in the system. The product can be modeled after German style, but your service can actually be modeled after Lexus. In the US market, if the service reaches Lexus level, I believe Genesis will be a big seller. Of course, it's still the same sentence. Buy what you like, don't control, don't be shy. Thank you for the above video.